Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming you all to International Affairs being broadcasted here in the SATV's Gulshan studio. I'm, of course, your host, Shamsul Alam Pantho, with the latest updates. We know late last night there has been the conclusion to the world's greatest show of all time, with Spain winning 1-0 with Argentina. Of course, the U.S. President Donald Trump was there as well. There's many more issues that we should talk about today. But before I jump into the discussions, let me introduce my panel. Here in the studio, I have Dr. Ali Ahmed, who is, of course, a former member customs of the National Board of Revenue. I welcome you on to the program. Alongside, I will have Norman Floyd Barnes, our geopolitical correspondent from Washington District of America. I want to begin with you, Norman. How are some of the things that you see? We see that there is the ninth day of continuous bombardment on Iran, especially after the two service members were killed in action in a bombing in the Middle Eastern sites, of course, the U.S. military bases. Without that, we have also seen that U.S. President Donald Trump is behind bulletproof glass even while attending the World Cup final held in New Jersey of New York. I want to begin with you, Norman. What are some of the updates that you have as of today? A very good morning to you, Norman.
Good morning. Good afternoon to you. Today we have a new birth in the White House. The Ursula Vance and J.D. Vance announced that Sunday they had the birth of a new child, a boy, Alec, and that adds to the family tree of four now. Alec will be the first child born to a vice president in 150 years, a sitting vice president in 150 years in the White House. So they are elated. The mother, Ursula, and the child is very healthy, and they are doing family time now. Leading to the next story is we have to congratulate Spain for prevailing as the world champion. And they did it in a convincing fashion, not allowing Argentina to score or even attempt to score a point. So that was a very profound statement they made. It had political overtones to the point that the prime minister was there, along with our president, both at the event. And during the ceremony at the award.
Hello and welcome to International Affairs, and my name is Shamsul Alam Pantho.
I don't see an easy resolution to this because every slight deviation from the plan,
opening an open war conflict with them,
testing nuclear missiles,
Russia's announcement of these supposedly successful testing,
special and exclusive footage that is being played on SATV's screen,
really coming to terms with Hamas.
Damage estimated between this entire issue.
President Trump is expected to hold bilateral talks.
preserving biodiversity and tackling climate change.
We cannot protect the planet before we negotiate peace.
Where is it going? Is it understanding the needs of its people before the needs of this global world?
For China to come to agreement,
They will face better projects.
With presidency of China and President Lee of South Korea.
Trump's White House that is in favor of these things.
simply not enough action being taken to address the problem of fossil fuels.
What their plan initially is towards the Caribbean, a place that has been met with two types of disasters.
Bangladeshi students at the same level of opportunity internationally and domestically.
International Affairs. Watch every Sunday to Thursday at 2 p.m. only on SATV and SATV Digital.
the normal of shooting rockets at each other, shooting drones at each other, and losing lives. So here we go. The same old thing is going on. Nothing has come through in terms of change. We are settling into a new normal. This is the new normal that we're going to look at for a while as this thing goes on. So that's the topics of the day.
Right. As Norman Floyd Barnes was recapping some of the issues from around the world, which of course includes J.D. Vance fathering another child. That is one of the better news segments that we've seen today. Turning to Dr. Ali Ahmed, as I was hinting upon the Spanish and the U.S. relationships, it wouldn't be even a week ago that we've seen U.S. President Donald Trump stating that he would cut all trade ties with Spain in regards to the war on Iran, in regards to the Middle East, and why it's not only just Spain that did not approve any kind of action from their territory, it was also Italy. But the rift away between the U.S. and Spain also coming back yesterday night. Spain has won the World Cup, and Donald Trump and Gianni Infantino, the FIFA president, was there to present the trophy. And Donald Trump was there in a photobomb session with the team as they were doing the trophy lift. I want to get a know-how from you. How do you see the relationship between Spain, led by Pedro Sanchez, as well as the U.S. president in the United States of America?
This game has been a big thing. Most of the people, or maybe a lot of people, expected that perhaps Argentina will continue to have the 4 stars, that is winning 4 times. But that has not happened. But for Spain, it is a win for after many years, after 1961 was the last time they won the World Cup. This time it has been this.
Hello and welcome to International Affairs, and my name is Shamsul Panto.
I don't see an easy resolution to this because every slight deviation from the plan,
opening an open war conflict with them,
testing nuclear missiles,
Russia's announcement of these supposedly successful testing,
Special and exclusive footage that is being played on SATV screen.
Really coming to terms with Hamas.
Damage estimated between this entire issue.
President Trump is expected to hold bilateral talks,
preserving biodiversity and tackling climate change.
We cannot protect the planet before we negotiate peace.
Where is it going? Is it understanding the needs of its people before the needs of this global world?
For China to come to agreement,
They will face better projects.
with President Xi of China and President Lee of South Korea.
Trump's White House that is in favor of these things.
simply not enough action being taken to address the problem of fossil fuels.
What their plan initially is towards the Caribbean, a place that has been met with 2 types of disasters.
Bangladeshi students at the same level of opportunity internationally and domestically.
International Affairs. Watch every Sunday to Thursday at 2 p.m. only on SATV and SATV Digital. Hello and welcome to International Affairs, and my name is Shamsul Panto.
I don't see an easy resolution to this because every slight deviation from the plan,
opening an open war conflict with them,
testing nuclear missiles,
Russia's announcement of these supposedly successful testing,
Special and exclusive footage that is being played on SATV screen.
really coming to terms with Hamas.
Defeat in this round of games, and Iran is going to be the winner.
Of course.
Although now there is a huge loss of lives and materials in Iran at the moment.
Right. A very excellent statement coming from you, Dr. Ali Ahmed. I want to turn to Norman Flood Barnes. As you were hearing, and I'm sure you see that it's not just people who are affected, it is the economy who is affected, it is the infrastructure in Iran that is affected, the bridges, the tunnels, the daily life. So how long do you think that this can continue on? Now, the world football issue is now similarly correlating with geopolitics. I say this why is because the Spanish leadership, Pedro Sanchez, and the people in Spain are rooting for Palestine and their livelihoods and the statehood of their own land. And this is where it does not see eye to eye with Benjamin Netanyahu. They've been very vocal against Israel and its recent policy changes of foreign policy as well. So I want to ask you, we've also seen Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu voicing support for one of the teams, Argentina, ahead of the World Cup. So just want to ask you, this is a very lovely mixture of both politics and sport. However, the coming days, it does not seem to be bright. That's because 9 days have gone so far in consecutive bombardment between US and Iran, and is still continuing without any kind of resolution, any kind of dialogue, or any kind of notion to ahead of these things that I've just mentioned. So I want to ask you, Norman, what are some of your observations, especially in the nexus of geopolitics and, of course, sporting? Norman.
Yes, as we move on, we're dealing with a real world situation like Spain. Believe they are destined to be where they at. In some points, they are. The rest of the world is now looking at this opportunity to. I anticipate that you'll see a lot more countries, a lot more leaders come out with their denouncement of Israel. The situation in the Middle East, particularly Palestine, and the situation with Iran. It's come to a point now, like I say, common practice now is that Israel, United States will attack and hit targets in the region. Iran, we're dealing with the situation in Palestine. Is still nothing has developed, nothing has improved in regarding that. The military action is still going on, largely because that's the only thing the Americans and the Israeli see. There's no exit plan. There's no actual conclusion or solution for this matter, except that we will continue to bombard Iran and Lebanon to the point where they get fed up and quit. But unfortunately, to make up the composition of the Iranians and the people in that region is not that. They do not quit. They have expressed and exercised upon. They have no issue with losing lives for their cause. They are willing to put down oppressors in their own countries. Thousands of people there. So they have no issue about losing life. But the principle is that they believe their lifestyle and their way of governing is righteous. And so with that said, the U.S. will continue to bombard until the point where funds runs out, or the people in the United States says, enough is enough. And they are banking on the sentiments of the people, the world, that they are looking at the situation that, hey, we are being victimized, we're being attacked, unjustly attacked, and we are not going to give up. You're going to have to come and take it. But that is something the United States and Israel is very reluctant on doing right now, because they know that the loss of life will be tremendous, and that is unacceptable in terms of the public sentiments regarding their action. More importantly, we still haven't defined the reason why. There's a purpose. There's a statement. They started off with the nuclear situation. Now we're dealing with the Strait situation, but still there's no definite description on why we are doing this and what is the solution and conclusion to this. So we're going on several more weeks. It may be months. It may be to the end of the year. I don't see any profound changes that come up. It's just a matter of who has the stronger will, who will break first. So right now, we are in a normal situation, a new normal situation of combating back and forth across the borders, drones. I don't anticipate any type of physical military actions, military approach by the United States putting troops on the ground, because that is not an exit plan. That's an entry plan, but not an exit plan. So that is, I don't think it's going to be on the table right now. But we don't know. Something may change the situation. But right now, the situation is moving to more a war, a physical war. That's going to go beyond the drones.
Of course. Interesting updates coming from Norman Floyd Barnes as we try to dissect and analyze these issues from all around the world. both in geopolitics as well as sport. Let me also let our viewers know before I head off to a break that Argentinian fans have clashed with police as riots have erupted in the streets of Buenos Aires after the World Cup defeat. So there is tensions in the Argentinian capital. Not only so, we also look at the English capital. Inside England, we will see that the UK will have its 5th Prime Minister in 4 years, and Andy Burnham is set to become the UK Prime Minister later today. So more discussions are coming ahead, but before we go on more, we will go on for a break, a short commercial break. So do stay with us for more on this very program. Damage estimated between this entire issue.
President Trump is expected to hold bilateral talks.
Preserving biodiversity and tackling climate change.
We cannot protect the planet before we negotiate peace.
Where is it going? Is it understanding the needs of its people before the needs of this global world?
For China to come to agreement,
They will face better projects.
With presidency of China and President Lee of South Korea.
Trump's White House that is in favor of these things.
Simply not enough action being taken to address the problem of fossil fuels.
What their plan initially is towards the Caribbean, a place that has been met with two types of disasters.
Bangladeshi students at the same level of opportunity internationally and domestically.
International Affairs. Watch every Sunday to Thursday at 2 p.m. only on SATV and SATV Digital. Hello and welcome to International Affairs, and my name is Shamsul Alam Pantho.
I don't see an easy resolution to this because every slight deviation from the plan,
Opening an open war conflict with them.
Testing nuclear missiles.
Russia's announcement of these supposedly successful testing.
Special and exclusive footage that is being played on SATV's screen.
really coming to terms with Hamas.
Damage estimated between this entire issue.
President Trump is expected to hold bilateral talks.
Preserving biodiversity and tackling climate change.
We cannot protect the planet before we negotiate peace.
Where is it going? Is it understanding the needs of its people before the needs of... Right, welcoming all our viewers back on International Affairs. I am joined in the studio with Dr. Ali Ahmed, and we have Norman Floyd Barnes throughout Zoom. I want to ask Dr. Ali Ahmed regarding the UK and the current situation that commoners in the UK face is currently navigating through severe political and economic instability, highlighted by the cost of living crisis, high taxation, and the sluggish growth that we have seen in the last few years. Polling indicates the primary concern for British voters are the economy, immigration, and the strain to the National Health Service, the NHS. Later today, we will be seeing another Prime Minister taking to the throne, while Keir Starmer is going to be setting his resignation towards earlier
To the
today
Crown.
to clear the road for Andy Burnham to come to the seat of the Prime Minister. Dr. Ali Ahmed, how do you see this issue in the UK? 10 Downing Street, a very shaky ride for it as well. We know that multiple Prime Ministers have been many in the last couple of years.
It's about 5 or 4 Prime Ministers in 5 years, or 5 Prime Ministers in 4 years, maybe either of these. This is in a country like Britain, which is the cradle of modern democracy, also the basic foundation. If this is the condition in Britain, then what is going to happen to other fledgling democracies? This is one thing. And of course, these problems are not soluble. One is, as you said, the immigration. They have been trying. This present outgoing Prime Minister brought it to some control, as statistics shows, but that is not enough. His other problems, one is that X, now it's X, ambassador to the US, that huge scandal with him.
Peter Mandelson.
Yes, and this is one great scandal, though they are not saying out loud in the UK newspapers or print media, but it is one great problem. The way the intimacy between these two persons, of course he was also previously a minister and an MP and all that, so status wise it's all right, but still the way he was shown close to the outgoing Prime Minister did not bode very well for him. This is one thing. And then also the scandal in the royalty. One of the sons have been disinherited of one of the sons of the Queen,
Right.
ex-Queen. So this is another great scandal, though it does not affect public life, but it affects public perception.
And sentiment, definitely.
Sentiment. Lot of people in the UK nowadays feel and speak, though it is not, they are not the majority, that this royalty in the UK is a white elephant. There is no need of it. So this is how the royalty is also gradually but surely is losing its own justification for staying there. Although this year, for the first time, they have very clearly and prominently shown the tax return of the king. Previously it was not done at all. They also want to earn legitimacy in the eyes of the people. Huge property, one of the largest taxpayers in the country, doing nothing practically. So that is a question not only among the leftists, but also among the right-thinking people in the UK. So they are making themselves questionable in the people's eyes, and the Queen's son, an heir to the throne, has been overthrown. So these are not very good
due to his very actions.
And other things are also still his thing is not over. It seems he is going to suffer more, and he has been disinherited from the house and all that. Although his elder brother, the present king, is bearing the expenses of one of the house where he lives in with the family now. But he has a lot of things. This is bringing disrepute to the royalty. So this is one thing, and the party is stable there. All the parties are stable, so there is no change of parties. That is not there. Although it is legally allowed, but they don't do these things. But they are becoming questionable, and the price level, the lowering of economic development, though there are sometimes a monthly spurt of 0.01% or things like that, but that is not enough. So Britain is going down financially, politically, diplomatically, and in many other ways. Although the 200 years of their rule is there, they brought in the so-called modern times through invention and many other things, but their sun is setting fast. So that is my observation about them.
Right. Excellent statements coming from Dr. Ali Ahmed, especially regarding some of the problems we see in the United Kingdom. I also want to ask Norman Floyd Barnes, as I was hearing Dr. Ali Ahmed, we see that immigration tends to be a common problem both in the United Kingdom as well as the United States. Immigration is a way of opening up a nation's borders to the world's public, to the various ethnicities that may come for a better future. And that is what is the issue that we see in the United Kingdom. Of course, Brexit has happened many years ago. It has affected negatively the economic issues inside the United Kingdom. I want to ask Norman, how do you see this immigration issue in the United Kingdom, as well as the new Prime Minister coming in 7th in this decade? It is, of course, showing that Britain has entered a new normal of changing its prime ministers every now and then. Very frequently. And that only indicates that some of the social problems are not being answered. Communal harmony seems to be at an all-time low, especially when we come to analyze otherworldly issues in 2026. I want to ask you how you see the political situation inside the United Kingdom.
Yes, so today we're going to have the 7th Prime Minister be appointed to the office today. by King Charles. Uh, he was the only candidate for the party. So he has risen to the point where he will take over as prime minister. What you're going to see is we will have a new face with the same old action, the same story. Nothing has changed. There's no plan. There's no solutions. There's no beautiful speech or plan for helping the people come out of their misery. The economic situation is dire over there. They have the same issues we have over here with terms of immigrants. We want immigrants in, and the reasons for that is for prosperity, making money, bring immigrants in to have to do the work, the labor, the work. However, the resources are not in place in terms of taking care of the immigrants. More so, it takes away from the people who live in the country. Their resources, their benefits are not there. And if people feel like the immigrants will get more favors than they do. So you have problems. You have problems with the people, and you're going to continue to have problems over there until they have a plan. And what I'm saying is basically just count the days. How many days this prime minister will last before we get to number 8?
Right. How long is the time, as you mentioned? Only the face changes, but the problem, the underlying issues are not changing as we see the situation in the UK breaking down. Different angle of questioning that I want to do with Ali Ahmed. You see, Donald Trump in his recent times, he has been very anti-immigration. He has built a wall with Mexico in the south, and as of the last 1 year and a half, we've seen that ICE immigration raids are happening all over the United States. It is a problem that I believe that is not just restricted to the United Kingdom. It is a worldwide issue. Majority of those who live in New York is supported. It's a community that is supported by the immigrant community, with a mayor that is also seemed to be from immigrant roots as well.
He is. Clearly, he's the first generation immigrant, right. The present mayor. Yes, you see, when you talk of the United States and immigration, you must not forget that the whole of the present United States is a country of the immigrants, except the aboriginals, as they call them, the original inhabitants. They have been cornered in ghettos across the country. They cannot get out of those places. So this is a ghetto country. And the immigrants are running it. So the old immigrants who have become rich and exploited the original inhabitants of the country are not wanting to allow new immigrants. No problem with the this color is another problem. They are inviting South Africans, the white South Africans and others. But it is when the brown and the black people go, they seriously raise objections to that. So this is a very naked racism in the United States, made all the more naked during Donald Trump's time. So I don't know how long they can do it. And they are afraid of losing the majority to the colored people. They are dwindling their number. So this is not good at all, not to speak the very least. But I think this is going to be only a temporary affair. They cannot do that because the whole country was built by immigrants. Donald Trump's own father was an immigrant in that country, and he is born that. And his personal records and reputation is also not very famous all over the world, including the United States. So, yes, one should control immigration in every country, but there should be qualitative control, and they might think of bringing in good people. At the first time, how is it so Jew controlled? Because initially the Jews were pushed out of Europe into the United States by these white people on both sides of the Atlantic. So why do you forget that this country was built by the immigrants? This industrialization, the richness, immigration and conquest. Conquest from whom? The original people who went there, the Spaniards. You conquered them, you conquered parts of Canada, even while it is still under the British Crown. So the past of the present rulers or the rulers to come or the rulers went by, they are all immigrants and they are all warmongers. So they should not forget it, that they cannot push out all the immigrants. And very often people wearing this so-called green card have been sent out forcefully out of the country. And one of them, an Arab, is going to the court in the US. He has a valid green card. Why should he not be allowed to come in the country? Because he was a student activist in the Harvard or in some of these universities. So this sort of thing, Americans themselves, a majority of them are now also against it, and they criticize. So I think it is time to rationalize even the immigration policy. Every country has an immigration policy, some control, not allowing criminals or others, but you cannot stop it, because you yourself, your father was a direct immigrant and you are the second generation immigrant, the president I mean. So they should not be like this.
Of course, some of these policy changes will have a drastic effect towards the running of the nation, as we see not only in the United States as well as other parts of the world. Turning towards the Middle East once more, I want to ask Norman, as some of the events that we were talking about, especially regarding Lebanon, I want to focus there for a very short time. The Lebanese President Joseph Aoun will visit the White House to meet the U.S. counterpart Donald Trump, as U.S.-led efforts to end the fighting between Israel and Hezbollah has entered a new phase. I also want to let you know the 9th day that we were talking about the 9 days that the continuous bombardment was happening. And on this case, a Lebanese president is going to be at the White House. How do you think he will be received, especially because the U.S. is seen as an ally to Israel? And as we all know, Israel has conducted various airstrikes inside southern Lebanon as of the recent days. It has turned into what Gaza is, a rubble, a wasteland, and we need to be more vocal about raising these issues on a very common basis. So I want to ask you, Norman, how do you see the Lebanese president's visit to the United States?
The Lebanese president's visit will be received as, I'll say, very lukewarm or very cordial, but ineffective meeting. There will be no changes in regards to what Israel does over there. Lebanon, as long as Lebanon and Hezbollah are cohorting, the United States administration will not give much support. They'll give a little understanding, but I do not see any ineffective change that's going to happen from this visit. Just a plea with the president of Lebanon to basically to end this siege and this conquest by Israel. But Israel has a plan, and I do not see a conversation with our president and the president of Lebanon is going to change anything that is happening right now over there. There's no options. There's no plan. There's just Israel doing its own thing, and they have a mission for that entire region. And the United States is not persuading them to change it, more so by their own admission. They are supporting it by just standing there and allowing it to happen and providing backdoor support.
Of course, whether it be backdoor diplomacy, if not direct confrontational diplomacy, diplomacy is failing as we continue to live on in 2026. Earlier on this year can be recapped as the most violent year we've had on record in this decade, especially because of the wars and the confrontations and the rivalries that have been shown in the geopolitical arena. With that being said, it is time to take a short commercial break. Afterwards, we will be focusing on some of the issues concerning our region here in South Asia. Ladies and gentlemen, do stay tuned for more on this very program. This global world.
for China to come to agreement.
They will face better projects.
with presidency of China and President Lee of South Korea.
Trump's White House that is in favor of these things.
Simply not enough action being taken to address the problem of fossil fuels.
What their plan initially is towards the Caribbean, a place that has been met with two types of disasters.
Bangladeshi students at the same level of opportunity internationally and domestically.
International Affairs. Watch every Sunday to Thursday at 2 p.m. only on SATV and SATV Digital. Hello and welcome to International Affairs, and my name is Shamsul Alam Pantho.
I don't see an easy resolution to this because every slight deviation from the plan
Opening an open war conflict with them.
Testing nuclear missiles.
Russia's announcement of these supposedly successful testing.
Special and exclusive footage that is being played on SATV screen.
Really coming to terms with Hamas.
Damage estimated between this entire issue.
President Trump is expected to hold bilateral talks
Preserving biodiversity and tackling climate change.
We cannot protect the planet before we negotiate peace.
Where is it going? Is it understanding the needs of its people? Welcoming our viewers back to the last segment of International Affairs. We were in discussion regarding the World Cup, regarding the geopolitical tensions from around the world, Andy Burnham becoming the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom later today, as well as issues of immigration from various territories on this planet. Right now, I am in the studio with Dr. Ali Ahmed. I want to discuss an issue that is very important for nations such as Bangladesh. Bangladesh has ordered immigration authorities to restore the phase except for Israel on the country's passport, reversing a change made in the past in 2020. I want to ask you how you see this except for Israel. The passport is valid for all countries except for Israel is what is very popularly written. Especially Israel is losing out its popularity.
If you look back in history, at the beginning of the state of Bangladesh in 1971, and even before that, while it was Pakistan, all countries of the world except Israel was always there in the previous Pakistani and the present Bangladeshi, except during the Awami League regime for some time. They deleted this. That means Israel was permissible for us to go to. Now it has been brought back to the original. The question is, if you look at the history of Israel, what is Israel? It is this: when the colonial countries, in those days led by Britain, but now it has been taken over by the US, they thought that their days were numbered.
Right.
And Middle East is a hugely important country, not only for fuel, oil, but also for many other things.
Right.
So they thought they should have an outpost. And they brought out the Jews need their own homeland. It is also IPAC, the money the Jews used to pay to the war fund and later to Israel's reconstruction and all those things. This is a colonial project to have an outpost of these colonial people by the colonial people in the Middle East and arming them to the teeth and providing them with money, the residents as well as all other Jews of the world, and also Jewish Christian. There is a type of people, it's a long time to explain. So they want to keep this outpost in order to fight the world. This has been shown this time that even although China and Russia is on the side of Iran, still US and Israel was in a very difficult corner. Although US is now fighting and causing havoc to Iranians, but it is not going to last for very long. They have to, we don't say now that a large number of Jews are there and we are not anti-religious and we are not racists.
Right.
Let them be together in peace. One great historian of Israel, he said that there can be one democratic state, including consisting of the Jews, the Christians and the Muslims in Israel. And the internationally accepted term there is the two-state solution. One for the Jews, one for the Muslims, the majority. I think they have to come to one of these solutions. You cannot do away with the majority, the Muslims, which is traditionally their country. And this biblical story that the Jews bring about, claiming that they were God's chosen people.
And it was promised to them 3,000 years ago.
And this is promised to them and their chosen people. Did God create all the rest of humanity whom they hated? Is God like that? This is just not ludicrous. This is not an intelligent man saying. And the entire Jewish community said this. I have big respect for the Jews as a religious people, as a nation or as a religious group. But this is foolish for all of them. How can one parcel of the whole world may be chosen by God? God is a person as if He chose them and they are there. And these choices latest also spread up to India. A large group of Indian Jews have been taken because they are chosen. The other Indians living for generations, for millennia beside them, have been out of choice of God. Is God that partial about humanity? He chooses some and hates others. Then why was this created by God, as they say? God created them. So this is not only foolish, this is dangerous. This philosophy must be abandoned. Humans are all equal, and if you want to live in peace in the world, all religions must live in wherever they live. Religion should not be a matter of state policy in any case. That is a personal affair. So I would suggest, a lot of people know, not that I am suggesting for the first time, but the Jews must be made to understand that if they want to live in the occupied Middle East, it is occupied by them with the help of the colonial powers, Britain first and then America and some others. Britain is now going and taking a back foot, but it is there. Still they are all doing it. So they have to reconcile to the rising humanity of the ex-colonized countries. Maybe they are still poorer, but this is not going to live forever. Lot of thoughtful Western historians and others say that the rise of the East, that is the ex-colonies, is taking place. America and its lackey Israel has seen this time what can happen, and this will continue to happen. They have to accept these brown people, these black people, all type of people as equal to the white ones. Now that the white ones are falling in a minority, they have taken Jews. This has to be abandoned.
Of course, excellent sum up by Dr. Ali Ahmed. I also want to add on a very recent example of this Jewish problem, Israeli problem, I would say. Foreign policy is that many countries do not recognize Israel as a state. Let me read it out. Malaysian Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim declared that any Israeli citizens discovered in Malaysia will face immediate deportation as the country does not recognize Israel. His administration is actively investigating claims that individuals with Israeli citizenship participated in a digital nomad community project in Johor's Forest City. Once again, this is an example of recent days in how nations that do not recognize Israel can come out to things like deportation. I want to thank Dr. Ali Ahmed for your contributions and your insights on various local and international matters. Thanking Norman Floyd Barnes all the way from Washington, District of Columbia, for his contributions and delivering his perspectives on the Washington perspective. With that being said, I also want to end today's program by stating today is World Chess Day. It is celebrated every July the 20th. On this day in 1924, the International Chess Federation was founded as well. In commemoration of that, in 2019, the United Nations General Assembly recognized this day as World Chess Day. Viewers, chess is not just a game, it is a unique combination of talent, patience, planning and strategy. Similar themes that we've seen in last night's World Cup as well. By finishing, I also want to congratulate Spain in winning their World Cup as well. With that being stated, I'm signing off on International Affairs. I'll be with you all on tomorrow's installation.